phone's about to die. Okay, let me see. Testing. Yep, microphone's working. Cool. I think that's everything. Alright. Oh, what is this? Alright, let's see. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so today I'm gonna do another programming stream. It's gonna be a very simple web development, going over the basics of web developing. No, in no means, but not by any means, I'm a. I would not say I'm a. I mean, my job is kind of web development, but I would say I am far from the industry standards. Okay. We're just gonna go over some simple web development. Okay, so I am using Windows. I think Windows 11 maybe. Hit the multi-stream. Okay, so you gotta know your command line. Like I said in earlier tutorials, you gotta know the command line. So in this case, I've installed Docker. Docker was installed on this computer. And Docker is just basically a way to, use containers. And containers is a way to isolate. It's to isolate everything within a container, basically. So within the container, it has its own resources. It has like its own, it has like its processes are isolated from the main, like your main operating system. Resources such as like RAM and storage are all isolated, so it's just all within its own namespace, so to speak. So that's what Docker is. It's just basically containing everything. It's like say there's blocks on your computer and you're just saying, okay, separate this block from the rest of my computer and let it just work inside this environment. So that's what Docker is. So for Windows, I basically just went to just search for Docker and get Docker. You download it, you install it, boom, it starts running. So here's my Docker. It's the Docker app, and then it's just running in the background. So there's like a daemon. So it's just a never-ending process that just runs in the background. So that's my Docker. So Docker is just great for just spinning up environments of anything really. So if you want a web server, if you want to run Node, I'm probably speaking Greek to some people, but basically any type of environment you want, you can do it in a Docker container. So that's why I'm using Docker for this tutorial. So if you don't have Docker installed, try to install Docker. And then also, so your command line is always important to know your command line commands. So I'm inside this path right here, which is my C drive, users, GemsEX, documents and projects. So Docker is running in the background, so we can just test this out by saying Docker V. So -v means version, so Docker version, and I have version 20. Tells me my build. Great, good stuff. And so getting started might be a little challenging. There might be like a learning curve here. But I already have this set up because I've been playing around with this for a while. So what I'm doing for my Docker container, so I'm basically saying create me an environment. Then you have a Docker file. I'm saying create me an environment where I want to have Node, which is a web server, which is like Node is a, it's like a server programming language. So I'm saying create me an environment where Node is installed, and I think it might be Linux, a Linux operating system. So that's what I'm saying. So that's basically what this is. I'm saying give me the Node image from the Docker server. Just give me this Node image that has, you know, Linux Node, and install it on this environment, right? And then I say, okay, change. So I'm basically saying, when you create this Node environment, run it in bash. That's what I'm basically saying. Running in bash. So bash is like the shell. So in my command line, you can see now I'm in bash, which is kind of like this shell. This is programming language that allows you to run commands on the command line, specific commands. So that's what I'm basically saying. So give me the Node environment, run it in bash, and this is a package management system. So on, I think it's on, you know, Linux. Yeah, I want to say Linux distro. So versions of Linux. So use apt-get update. So update the package management system and then install Git. So Git is a repository. Let me show you my GitHub. Git is a repository where you can store your code. So this is my repository. So I'm saying install Git. So Git is the program. And then I'm saying change the directory to var www, and then get my program in this repository. So light dev node, that's where it's going to get it from. That's what git clone does. It downloads it from my GitHub and puts it in this environment that I got from Docker. And then I say npm run. So npm is a Node package manager for Node. So package managers are basically a way to download programs and dependencies without having to go to a website and then clicking download and then clicking install and all that stuff. The package management system is just able to say install this program, and it does it all for you in the background. So this is a package management system, apt-get, and npm is also a package management system. They're just an easy way to install programs, if that makes sense. So we get our Node environment because I want to work in Node, which is a type of programming language for servers. And I say run it in the command line. We want the shell bash. We want the bash shell, born again shell. That's what bash stands for. We use our package management system for Linux to install Git. We change our directory to var www. So that's where I want my files at. So that's why I switch it to this file, this directory here. And I say download all my programming files from this website here on GitHub, download it into the environment. So that's what I do. So everything in this folder, in this app folder, is going to be downloaded into this environment that I'm getting here. And then I'm saying change the working directory to var www node app. So inside this node folder is an app folder. So I'm saying change it to this and see everything that's in it. And then I'm saying npm install. So it's going to install, it's going to look at this file, it's going to open it up. And basically npm install is going to install everything that I have listed here. So I'm saying, oh, install Babel, install CSS loader, Babel loader, HTML Webpack, mini CSS, prettier, Webpack CLI. Install all these dependencies for me. That'll be great. And then I say expose port 8080, which I'll come back to later. So that's basically the setup I have. I came up with it all myself. And that's just something that you know after reading and reading and reading. So after all that, let's just go into an example. So Docker has all these commands. I just want to double check some stuff. Yeah. We'll start fresh. Okay, cool. So basically, with Docker, in order to create a Docker container and all this other stuff, all you really need is a Docker file, and that's pretty much it. So I have my Docker file, which we're in right now, and then you pretty much say, all you really need to create like a Docker container is basically this part, because that's the bulk of it right there. It's this image right here, this node image here. That's the bulk of it. But I decided to do some extra stuff because I want my file from GitHub to be inside this container, this environment that I'm creating. Okay, so basically all you need is the Docker file. So I don't know all the Docker commands by heart. I have a cheat sheet, so here, project pages, Docker cheat sheet. Yeah, so I have a cheat sheet here. I also have this too. I got this from the web somewhere. But basically, it's a cheat sheet. It just tells me how to build it. So this is how you build the image. So first thing you do, so with the Docker file, you build the image. Yeah, and the image is basically, the environment. It's not a running environment. It's just, everything downloaded and ready to go. So we're gonna create the image first. So you do something like Docker build. So just like what it has here, Docker build -t, which means tag. I'm gonna tag it as node. That's what I'm gonna call the image. -t just creates a tag, call it node, and then I'm saying the Docker file is in this folder, which is not. It's actually in the node folder. See, it's in this node folder, and the Docker file is in this node folder. So that's why I changed it to the node folder. And now we can do Docker build. This isn't necessary, the no cache. So Docker build and call it node the image, and then I'm gonna say the Docker file is in C users jamzx documents projects node. It's in that directory. Hit enter. And that's it. It used some cache. Normally it's not that fast. If I said, like, I got rid of this part from before, it said no cache. If I had clicked docker build no cache, it would have downloaded everything and it would have took a lot longer. But since I didn't say no cache, it just used, you know, some of the stuff that was already cached. See, it says cached, cache, cache, cache. It just used whatever's from cache. All right, so we have our Docker image. We can check it by saying Docker image ls. This shows me all my Docker images. You see? This is the one I just created. Or no, lies. Oh yeah, that's the one. It says 25 hours ago, but that's from cache. So I called it node. That's what the -t was. This is the latest tag. That's the image ID. That's how big it is. It's like 1.05 gigs. Cool. So next up is you have to run the image, right? So you do, in order to run the image, you do docker run. So in this case, I'm gonna say docker run. I do -d, so it's detached. -t, I forgot what that one means. -p, and then I'm gonna bind it to port 8080. So when I go to localhost 8080, it's going to be bound to the 8080 in the container. So that's very important. And then I'm gonna name it node. I'm gonna name the container node basically. And then I'm calling the image node. I'm running the image node, sorry. A little confusing, but it works. Okay, so now my container is running. So if I do docker container ls, so there's docker image ls, which shows me all my images, and docker container ls shows me all my containers. See, node is running. There it is right there. It shows that my localhost 8080 is bound to the containers host 8080. A container has its own network and its own ports and everything. So I want to bind to that port 8080. It's very important that I use 8080. Okay, so now my container is running. Great, fantastic. Now what I do? So now I want to log into my container. So in order to go inside your container, you do docker exec -it, and my container name is node, and then I want to log in using bash because bash is great. So I log in, great, there it is. And then so this is what's inside. This is what's inside my Docker. This is what's inside the app folder. So yeah, so I already have some scripts here inside my package.json. So this is node related. So with node, you can create you some custom scripts and put them in this scripts object. So basically you say npm run dev, and then I can okay, now I'm running my dev server, or I've created a web server. So it says project is running, localhost. That doesn't look right. Let me double check. Oh, maybe it is right. Or maybe it's not. I don't think it's supposed to be localhost. It says loopback. Or maybe it is, right? On your network. Yep. That might be right. Serve. Yep. It says it's running, so let's check if it's running. So if I go to localhost and I go to localhost means this current computer, and then I go to port 8080. Oh, it's running. So that's great. It's running. So this is basically our Docker container. This is a web server that's displaying this on this machine. Yo, Sage of Six Paths, what's going on? Mama, we made it. We here. We out here. Okay, so some more fun programming stuff. Okay. So now we got our web server up. Now I'm sure that was confusing. I said trying to get the web server up and everything, and then now we're actually going to do some programming. Okay. Where the heck is it? Oh, okay, yeah. So this is HTML. So HTML is hypertext markup language. Basically, it's the structure of a website. And then, gosh, okay. So it's basically the backbone of a website. It's what makes the website a website. So if you right-click on a website, hit inspect, you'll see the HTML. See, it says HTML. This is a type of HTML. It's the head, the body, and this should match actually what's here. So HTML head matches up, the meta, the title, it matches H1. So H1 means header 1, and then H2 means header 2. So all that matches. Great stuff. So that's basically HTML. It's just the backbone, the structure of a website. So you can create a website right now. You don't even have to do all this web server stuff. All you have to do is just create this file right here, like an index.html. You right click on it, and then you hit open with, and then you open with Google Chrome, and it'll pop right up. So you don't even need a web server. The only reason I'm running one to do some cool stuff that I'm gonna show in a second. So yeah, that's the HTML. You can pretty much do. There's like some basic ones. So the body is where you do the main stuff. I used to feel like a programmer in school when I changed the Google logo using the Inkspat. Yes, it's so funny too, because I work for like a software company for schools, and kids, they like right click, and then like their grades show on the screen, and all they do is just, you know, go to the inspector, and then they change it to like from a C to an A, and then they fool their parents. Kids are so smart. But yeah, so I refreshed the page, so that fixes it. Okay. So some basics with HTML. So there's basics. So there's an opening and there's a closing tag. So these are called tags. Tags are basically an open, or no, a less than sign followed by a greater than sign. And then the closing tag is a greater than sign, or no, less than sign, a /, and then a greater than sign. So that's the syntax for all tags. And then the name just goes inside. So for example, a body tag would have the word body inside, and then the closing tag would be body. It would be just like this, and they all follow that syntax. So another one would be the p tag. Another one would be a div. See how it auto completes? It's great. There's h1, like I mentioned earlier. There's, what else tags are there? There's links. So good stuff. So those are the basic tags, right? Basically, you always start with the HTML as your first one. And then you have all these other tags. So we'll actually comment this stuff out for now, and we'll start from scratch. Okay, so first things up, when you create a website, you always start with the HTML tag. And then you always have a closing tag. So when I save this and I refresh, nothing happened. Oh, it's because, sorry, my bad. I'm not in the Docker container, sorry. Let me find it. There it is. Whoops. All right, so comment that out. HTML, save. There we go. Now it's working. Okay, first you start with the HTML tag. You have an open tag, and then you have a closing tag. A closing tag always has a / in it. All right, and then inside the HTML tag, you have other tags. So I'm gonna have a body with an open and close tag, and then I'm gonna have a header, so h1, and then I'm gonna say hi. Boom, see? Just that easy. You start off with HTML, and then you have a body, and then inside the body you have all your other tags. Just that simple. And then you can keep going. You can just say, so P means paragraph, so I say this is a really long paragraph, and I can go on and on and on. So that's typically how it works. So that's HTML. It's an interactive class. But yeah, so that's HTML, and it's really, really simple. Anybody can create a website. Anybody can create one right now. It's just that easy. So next is CSS. So you have a head tag, and then you can have style tag inside of that. And then you can basically say what's going to happen, right? So you say, I want all H1 tags. So you say H1, open curly brace, close curly brace. I want all H1 tags to be red. That's it. That's simple. And then you say, I want all P tags. So this is CSS, which means cascading style sheet, which is the ability to add stylings to your HTML. So I want all my paragraphs to be centered. So these are just properties that I know. So color is just built in to CSS. It's a built-in property. Text align is a built-in property. And then I just simply say red, center, and it does it. Oh, all right, let's do something more interesting. Let's do an image. All right, so in order to make an image, you use the image tag, so img, and then you paste the link inside the source attribute. So tags also have attributes. So an attribute is just within that beginning tag. So this P tag has, what kind of attribute does it have? Yeah, so it has an align attribute. So I can say align left. I'm sure it will work. But I think it might be deprecated. I don't think people actually do that though. Do edit CSS and HTML and other one all on the same docs? I don't actually. This is just a quick example. Normally put it into its own file. Like, I'm gonna show it in a second. Normally I don't edit it in the same file. I usually have them separate. I have an HTML file by itself and I have a CSS file by itself. So yeah, since we're already on it, you can actually take this CSS right here. You can take it, and then I can just create another one. Create a new file. I'm gonna call it index.css. I'm gonna paste it here. Change this to blue so we know it changed. And then inside this HTML file, we have a link tag. So the tag's called a link tag. So you do a link tag. I don't know it by heart. So you have a link tag, which links it to this. You link your HTML file to the CSS file. So you just do link tag, and I change it to index.css. Hit save. Boom. Didn't work. Lies and deceit. Let me see. Cannot get index.css. That's interesting. Oh, my bad. It has to be inside this. My bad. I think it has to be inside that folder for my server. Possibly. Oh, what did I do? Let's actually do this. Do you ever announce when you are going live on Discord? I should, shouldn't I? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it from now on. I'm gonna do it early on in the day, and I'm like, I'm going live at this time, because normally I figure out when I'm going live at around like 2-3 o'clock. I'll announce it. Entry. Wait, that's entry, output, index. Yeah, that looks right. Ooh. Webpack entry. Wait, let me see. Entry main. Yep. Okay, that's what I need to do. I think I need to do this. Or maybe not. Maybe I did it wrong. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've used Webpack. Let me see. Okay, so I'll figure that out later. But normally you can put it into another file. So okay, so you have your HTML, you have your CSS. Yeah, I haven't used Webpack in a while. I would have to figure it out. But yeah, you can change your font to bold. You can do stuff like this. Like you see how the text became bold. CSS is great stuff. Great stuff. If you want the text to be green, you can make it green. That's pretty much the basics. So you have your HTML, you have your CSS here, you have your HTML, and then you have your JavaScript. So HTML is basically the structure, is how the page looks. Or no, let me rephrase that. So it's the structure, so how you define the page. The CSS is how it looks, and then the JavaScript is like all the cool mechanics, so all the cool features that you can do. So here's some JavaScript here. This doesn't really matter too much. Oh man, it's been a minute since I've done this. It's a great thing when you're a programmer because you don't need to remember how stuff works. You just Google it. You just Google all this good stuff. Okay, so I really don't need this part. Yep. So I can just move here. Move that here. Wait, something's wonky. Let me see. Hey, sorry I didn't see the notification you were live. I really wanted to see this one. I'm not no help in this area. Oh, Knox. I'm no help in this area. My class starts in 12 minutes. Oh, go do your class. Sorry. The fact that the green text is orange on the editor thing is messing with me. Editor change color depending on what the word is. It can take a little bit. Yep. But yeah. So here. Yep, good stuff. I wonder why the image isn't displaying. Let's do. Yep. So this is an image tag, so you just paste the image there. Should work. Yep, see? I just took the image from Google. So now we're cooking with oil. Make this a little bit bigger. All right. All right, cool. All right, so cool stuff. So now we got our HTML, we got our CSS. Let's take a look at that JavaScript again. Ew. I don't see it injected on the page. Something's wonky. Man, it's fun dealing with the web server, man. That you don't know how to use. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's do this. Let's say header. Yep. Style. Yep. All that's there. Yep. Good stuff. Alright, so if I could get this JavaScript to work. Actually, let's gonna have to figure that one out later. But also you can do like script tags. So you can say script. So I'm just doing it all inline for now, but you can have it in its own separate file, and then you can be like console log food. And when I refresh, there's food. It says food right here. This is JavaScript. Good old JavaScript. So now I can do some crazy stuff, right? So with JavaScript, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say document query selector. I'm gonna say grab this h1 tag and then add the style. Isn't that cool? So even though my CSS says change this h1 tag that says hi Sage of 6 Paths, even though I have this style that says change the color of this header tag to blue, with JavaScript I can also change the CSS. I can say instead of blue, change it to orange, and that's what happened. The CSS. Okay, now let's do something more interesting. Is there any way to find an error in a long code? What do you mean, error? Like if I have a typo or something, and I refresh the page, it'll show the error right here. It'll say uncaught reference DD is not defined. See, this is just wrong. So it'll normally tell you. It'll be like an error that pops up. But yeah, so let's do some more cool stuff with JavaScript, because JavaScript does some crazy stuff. Say I create a button, right? I want a button that says change color. Here's my button here. So when they click it, I want it to change color. So I'm gonna say like, excuse me if I get this wrong, because I'm probably gonna get this wrong, because this has been quite a minute. All right, if I did this right, it should change colors, right? Okay, so when you do this button, I have some JavaScript that says, okay, when you click it, click the button, it's gonna change this text orange. Oh my goodness, it worked. Okay, that was gonna be embarrassing. That's awesome, right? It says, hey, change color. You click it, change it to orange. That's what JavaScript is all about. It's all about that interaction, and you're capable of doing some stuff. Okay, let's do something else. Let's do this. I honestly don't know if this will work. This might not work. Okay, so yeah. So here, let's do. Okay, now I'm gonna make the button. Now I'm going to make the button add some text on the page. Well, it kind of worked. Not quite the way I wanted it to. Let's do Maybe. I think that's the problem there. There we go. Wow. Shockingly. Okay. Can you change the Google logo into something like cursive manually, or do you need an image already like that? Yes, you would need an image like that. Or you would have, like, you can have an SVG, and then you can edit the SVG using JavaScript to make it cursive. Yep. So that's a cool thing. So what I just did there, so I have some JavaScript that says, let's make it look a little better. All right, this is some JavaScript. So I'm saying append to the body. So this is the body right here that says body. I'm saying append to the body. So add something to the body. Add a div. A div tag is just, it's like a container. A div tag is a container. And then I want the div tag to have hi world on it. So when they click add text, hi world will pop. And it will just keep going as long as I click it. I keep clicking it, gosh, tongue tied. If I keep clicking it, it'll keep adding more divs that say hi world. The power of JavaScript. Now this is called inlining. So you can do it inline, or you can do it, that's not ideal to do it inline. So normally you would give it a class. You would say, this is my, I'm gonna call it crazy button. I'm gonna give it a class called crazy button, and then I'm gonna say document.query selector. So this is how you get it from the DOM. So you say crazy button. You say crazy button, and then you say, okay, now I want to append it to the DOM. And that should be it, really. Save, boom. What is going on there? Okay, there we go. It's like the cookie clicker thing. Cookie clicker? So I have append to DOM. You click it. No, it's not working. I wonder why. Oh, I see. You have to do on click. My bad. You have to add event listener to it. And then add an event listener. There we go. Save. Boom. Gotta say click. Then boom. Nothing happened. Man, am I this bad? Okay, so there's the button. It says crazy button. I say document query selector. Get the crazy button, and then add event listener says click, and then append. Then I want to append some text. So the div document dot create element. I'm gonna create a div, and then I want the div to say, let's do this, and then I want the div to be appended to the DOM. Boom. Let's do this. See how fun coding is. An app that you just click the cookie and it tracks how many times. Oh yes. Oh yeah. We could do that. Yeah. So here's the button, and then let's see. We can have a counter. We'll give it a class called counter. And then when we click, so this is an event listener. So it says listen for the click event. And then when it's clicked, so we want to get the counter. We'll say, so the counter name is counter. So we say document.query selector. We say counter. So in order to get the class, you use a dot. So this is a class. In order to get it, we say dot and then the class name. Query selector finds it in this HTML. So you say document query selector, which finds it in this HTML. We say dot to refer to the class, and then we say the class name, which is counter. I use backticks. You can use single quotes or double quotes, or you can use backticks. I always use backticks. So this will get our counter. So it'll get this right here. And then I'm gonna say, we're gonna say number of clicks. So we're gonna do okay, so this is weird right here. So this is weird. So I'm gonna say check if the counter has a click attribute, a data dash click attribute. If it doesn't have a data dash click attribute, then we're gonna say it's been clicked 0 times. And then we're gonna say and then after it's been clicked, we're gonna say counter dot enter text equals number of clicks. So now we're gonna set the text of the counter to the number of times we clicked it, and then we're gonna set the data click attribute to the number of clicks plus 1. So plus is increment, so it's going to do plus 1. And that should do it, I think. Unless I'm missing something. Okay, so say increase counter for the button. Okay, let's see if it works. Oh, I see. Whoops. We gotta change the counter to var, or we'll say let. And I'll explain that in a second. So in JavaScript, you have to declare your variables using var, let, or const. Const means that it can't be changed. You can't change the variable. That's why I got the error. So I had to do let. Alright, that should probably do it. Oh man, what is this one? Line 43, where's that at? Oh, number of clicks. I gotta do let on this one. Gotta use let on that one too. Because I'm increasing it by 1. I can't do that with const. We're on a roll and it's still not working. Let's do some debugging. It's always fun to debug, right? Okay, so let's look at this. We're gonna debug this. So here's our div that says class counter. So our div class counter, yep, that's right. It says data click is 0, which seems to be right. Maybe it's this. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, so I did a post increment. I was supposed to do a pre increment. I had supposed to put this first. Normally you don't worry about that. So normally you just do number of clicks plus 1. That's equally work. Then you just whoops. You want to cast this. So this is very important. This is where I screwed up. Because this is a because this is a string and this is a number. And like I said in the Java tutorial, when you do a plus sign with a string and a number, it's going to append it. This is not what I wanted. I didn't want it to append because this becomes a string plus a number, it'll append it. And that's not what I want. So I want to make sure this is a number. That's why it's important to know your data types. Even though this is a loosely typed programming language, it's still important to know your data types. So in JavaScript, the data type is number, I believe. So now it should work. It should. Let's see. Your very own cookie counter. Yes, it works. It works. So see how my data click is 23? You see how it's just increasing? The attribute data click is increasing. That's because I set it. I said counter data click is number of clicks plus 1. So that's why it's increasing. Wasn't too bad, right? So you just add a class to it. So you say class crazy button. The reason why we add classes is because to make it easier to find. So we say class crazy button, we say class counter, and in order to get our button, we say document query selector. Query selector searches the HTML for dot means class, so it searches the HTML for a class named crazy button. So that's what the search does. And then I store it into a variable called button, and then I add an event listener on it. The event listener is a click event, so when you click it, it does stuff. This is the syntax for a function, anonymous function. That's the syntax for it. And basically I say get the counter, so document query selector searches this HTML again for a class called counter, which is this right here. So it gets all this, stores it in a variable called counter, and then I check the attribute, which is this data click here. I check this attribute and I get the value, which is in this case would be 74, and then I cast it to a number. So this number casts it to a number, stores it in the number of clicks, and then I get the counter again, which is this, and then I make the inner text. It says inner HTML, but really it's supposed to be inner text. It doesn't really matter in this case, but inner text, I'm gonna have the text, which is right here, be the number of clicks. In this case, this will be 74. It's gonna set it to 74, and then it's gonna set the data click to 75, number of clicks plus 1. So watch. So when I click this, it's gonna change this to 74, and then it's gonna change this to 74 plus 1, which is 75. Boom. There it is. Like magic. Can you make something happen when you reach a certain amount? Sure. So if number of clicks equals 100, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do document body append document Yep, so I created H1 tag called game over. Set the inner text to the text game over in all caps with a lot of exclamation points. And then I'm gonna pin it to the body. All right, that makes sense. Now, if the number of clicks is 100, it's going to create this H1 tag. It's going to say game over on the inside, and then it's going to append it to the body. So we're at 74. I'm gonna have to refresh the page. All right. Oh gosh, why did I make it 100? Now it's a marathon. All right, we're almost there. Okay, cool. So when it hits 100, it should say game over. Boom, there it is. Just like that. So we can do all kinds of crazy stuff. The potential is endless here. This is what JavaScript is for. It's for interaction. It's for when stuff happens. When stuff happens, do something else. That's what makes JavaScript so crazy. No, I do not know what that is. Not the foggiest idea. All right, let's get into some more. So this was kind of like a speed run through like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I mean, this was like a super speed run. Let me like wait, let me kill this stuff real quick. Okay, I killed my server. Good. That's what I want to do. Okay. Alright, so this is what I'm going to do again. I'm going to go to... Let's attach VS Code to it. I meant to do this. Already. They're like these types of hacks that people use in Call of Duty. Didn't know that. Didn't know that at all. Alright, that was just a speed run. Let's do a little bit more in-depth. let's do some crazy stuff here. Okay, so the reason why I'm running this in a web server is so I can do some hot reloading. So this thing is cool. So it does hot reload. Normally with JavaScript, you have to refresh the page every time. But with hot reloading, it'll automatically update for me. So if I change this to hot reloading and I save, nothing happened. That's funny. Oh my bad. I need to put it right here, I think. Yeah, see? Cool beans, right? Because normally with JavaScript, you have to refresh the page every time. But with hot reloading on this web server that I created, every time I save the file, it'll just do it for me or reload the page. Mom! Tom! Bob! Hot reloading. See, with JavaScript, it's amazing. Mickey Mouse has become part of the green screen. Is that true? It looks like it has. I shouldn't wear green. I didn't know if they were a type of code. Any type of mods is code for sure. Alright, so that's hot reloading. Hot reloading is amazing. I can probably hot reload some CSS too, but that would probably take me forever to figure out. So I'm not gonna do that. I don't even know why it's not adding CSS to the page. Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to start. Me and Webpack is like, it took me forever to figure out Webpack in the first place, honestly. But I feel like you just kind of like need to add CSS to like this part here. I feel like that's right. I don't know if it's actually right. Maybe. But we'll figure that out later. So, all right, let's get into the nitty gritty of HTML and whatnot. So that was just a speed run. So now the actual stuff. So let's go over some basic tags. So there's HTML. That's the main one you start off with. There's the body. So that's where most of your tags are gonna be inside of. It's the body tag. Then some main ones. So the div. The div is a container. So the div can have anything in it. It's basically a blank. That's literally what it is. A div is a blank tag. And it creates a new line. Like before and after, I think. So then you have paragraph. So that's for your text. So the P tag is for paragraph. It stands for paragraph, and it's for text. And then you have images. You have an image tag. So this is the only one that doesn't have a closing tag. So the syntax is like P tag and then a closing P tag with a / in it. But the image tag, it doesn't have actually a closing tag. You just have the / on the inside of the opening one. And then you have the same thing goes, yeah. And then there's an A tag, which is for links. And then, is there anyone? There's a span tag. A span tag is basically the same thing as a div. It's a blank HTML tag, basically. The only difference is that the div creates new lines before and after it, whereas the span doesn't create new lines. They're both blank, but the difference is one creates new lines, one doesn't. Any other important tags that you should use? Nope, these are pretty much the main ones, I believe. P, div, span, anchor. H stands for anchor tag, which is just a link. There's also a head tag for headings or for your header. That's basically that's most of it. So HTML it's the first one always on the page. Then there's the head, and then the body, and then you can come up with your divs, your spans, your p tags, your images, and your links. And those are the main ones. Those are the main HTMLs. So the HTML just creates an HTML document. The head is just for specific stuff. So the head has like specific instructions for your browser. So things that you would put in the head tag is like, you see that this tab says Webpack app. Well, I can actually change it. So you start off with your HTML tag and then your head. Then there's your head tag, and then inside of your head tag you can say title. So then we can say this is tab title. So I gotta refresh the page. You see it says this is tab title right there at the top. So that's what your head tag is for. It's for changing descriptions and within the browser and stuff like that. I think you can change the description too. I don't remember what that one was. Yeah, so that's the example. It says title. Is there a way to describe the description? There it is. That's it. I think that's it there. So to change the description, like pretty sure this is it. That is way too long. This is a description. Refresh. Yeah, well, I tried. Pretty sure it's something along that line, so. Nothing a Google search won't solve. I feel like you can basically do anything with programming. You can pretty much do anything. So that's pretty much what a head tag is for. It's for changing stuff in the browser. So like this right here, like your tab name. In the head tag, you can also import JavaScript and CSS. So you can have your CSS and your JavaScript in separate files. And the way you would import it is within the head tag. And you would import it by using the link tag. So the link tag would import the CSS. So you just do this type of syntax here. This will import my CSS for my index.css file here. And then to import JavaScript, you would do a script tag here. And then you would say something like source equals index.js. That's essentially how you would import JavaScript from its own file, and then CSS from its own file as well. So see, these are in its own file. If I wanted to import it, I would do this type of syntax in the head. Is it gonna work? No, because I'm using this weird web server and I would have to publish. But yeah, that's typically how you use a head tag. And then for most of your HTML would be inside the body tag. So these are nested. So inside the HTML tag is a head tag and then a body tag. So these are siblings because they're right beside each other. So the head tag is a sibling with the body tag because they're right beside each other. And then the HTML has two children, the head tag and the body tag. And then the body tag and the head tag has one parent, which is the HTML. And then the head tag has one child, the title tag, because it's nested within it. And the title tag has one parent, which is the head. And it also has a grandparent, which is the HTML tag. So on and so forth. So inside the body tag, we'll have a div. We'll create a div. Divs are blank. So we can have text inside divs. See, we can have text inside divs. We can have more HTML inside divs. So this is a paragraph. So these are siblings. So this text is a sibling with this p tag because they're right beside each other. So they're siblings. I can also put this text inside of a p tag. Yep, so this p tag is a sibling with this p tag. P means paragraph once again. Yep, I can have a link. So to create a link, you use the a tag, anchor text. So this, so yeah, so yep, and then yes, so all tags can have attributes. Attributes are, so in the opening tag, you can have an attribute. So like this p tag has an attribute called class, which I can call it, you know, paragraph, or no, para. I'll just call it para for the class. Yep. And the a tag has an attribute called href, which is our link. And I'm gonna say, when you click this link, it's gonna take you to fullvolley.com. Yes, I am self-promoting, if anybody's wondering. So this will go to fullvolley.com. So if I click this, it did not go to fullvolley.com. I gotta do www, I'm pretty sure. Oh man, this is not looking good. This is what happens when you use web servers, man. It doesn't want to act right. All right. Boom. There we go. Sorry, I had to put HTTP. Shameless self-plug. Oh man, what is going on? It's not even working. Oh, I did HTTPS. Maybe it's HTTP. My bad. Might be in an endless loop. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, so if you click this link, and it'll take you to fullvolley.com. Yeah, so if you click this link, and it'll take you to fullvolley.com. Isn't that cool? I have a website called fullvolley.com, and it points to my Twitch. Isn't programming great? On my own stream. It's a dream within a dream. It's a stream within a stream. But yeah, so cool stuff, man. This is cool stuff. Like, and then I want to show the image tag. So one more time. So if I go to Twitch. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Let me see. Twitch logo. So if I want an image, all I have to do is just create an image tag. So the thing about an image tag, it doesn't have a closing tag. So you don't have to worry about a closing tag for image tag. So, but yeah. So I just take, boom, there we go. That easy. You just copy the link inside of it. This is the attribute for the image tag. It's called SRC, which means source. And you just copy and paste pretty much. Pretty much. So that's the basics. So that's the basics of the HTML right here. So all you need is an HTML tag, a head, a body, a div, span, p, image, and then an a tag. And you're pretty much good to go with HTML. So the syntax for, once again, the syntax for HTML is you have an open tag, which is, you know, a less than sign, a greater than sign, and then the tag name in between. So that's the syntax. So just to look at that visually, that's what it looks like. You have a less than sign, a greater than sign, and then the tag name is in between. And then also there's a closing tag, so it's a less than sign, a /, the tag name, and then the greater than sign. That's the syntax. So if you want to create a p tag, all you have to do is replace tag name with p, and then that's basically how it looks. Same thing if you want to create a div, just like that. If you want to create a span, same syntax, just different HTML tag names. Isn't that cool? Yep. And then lastly, one more time, the structure of an HTML file is basically the HTML tag goes first, and then all other tags go inside of it. So HTML goes first, all other tags go inside of it. The head tag is basically for metadata. So like this right here that says head, and then inside of head is a title tag which says this is a tab title. So that's where it's appearing at in my tab. It says this is a tab title there. So it's all for metadata. And then the body is where your actual HTML is likely going to live. What do you think of Blazor? I haven't used it. There's always like there's always something new. There's always something new with web development. There's always some hot toy out there. Everybody's like, have you used this? This is the future here. I'm like, okay. Okay. There's always something new. There's always something new. But no matter what comes out with deployment, like with like technologies and how to deploy your web apps and your, it's good to just know the basics, and then you can just work from there and use any tool out there pretty much. But yeah, that's the basics. So you have your body is where your main HTML lives, and then your divs are important because they're just containers. They just hold other HTML tags. That's basically what they are. Divs and spans basically hold other HTML just for the fun of it. And then your P tags is just for text. Your A tags are for links. Like I said again, this link goes to fullvolley.com. If you click it, it goes to my Twitch stream within a stream. Okay, that's funny. And yeah, and then you can create an image tag, which shows your image here. Cool. So that's HTML in a nutshell. And then we're gonna go over CSS. So I'm just going to do it inline because it's just faster. So if you want to do it inline, which is in the HTML file itself, then you have to use a style tag within the head. Well, you don't have to do it inside the head, but mainly you find it in the head. Within the head tag, and then you say within the style, and then you basically can say all p tags have the color red. And you see all my p tags got red. Dark Chris, what's up? What's going on? I'm doing another programming stream. So that's, I mean, CSS is pretty simple too. The format is just the tag name or the selector name followed by an open and closed curly brace. And then it's the property colon the value. So to see that visually, it's tag, or it's either the tag name or the selector followed by the open and closed curly brace, and then it's the property colon the value. I think it's semicolon. And that's pretty much how you do it. That's how you do all CSS. Either the tag name or the selector followed by open and closed curly brace followed by the property name colon the value. And I think it's a semicolon at the end. Like, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So that's pretty much it for that. If I wanted a specific HTML element, I could say you can use the attribute ID, and this is para. So this p tag has the specific ID called para, which I gave it the name. So I can say para should be green. So when I refresh, only the paragraph was green because I said this is a selector. So you use hashtag to say ID. So ID, hashtag are the same thing. And then I say the ID name is para, and then I want it green. I can also say I want this thing to be huge. I want the font size to be 50 pixels huge. Boom. Sister says hi. Hi, sis. Dark Chris, I said hi to your sister. Hey. What's up? Okay, so yeah, like CSS is great, fantastic. You can get pretty deep into this. You can say, oh gosh, okay, yeah, let's try it. Okay, you can say body. You can say, okay, get the body tag, and then within the body, get the image. So I can say, okay, get the body, and then within the body, get the image, and then we're gonna make the image, you know, 50 pixels, and then we're gonna make the height 25 pixels, and this should make my image smaller. See, amazing, incredible. Do you know how to make a pop-up or like a preview pop-up? Okay, all right, let's do this. You want me to make a pop-up? Let me think. Oh gosh. Oh. A pop-up. Oh, yep. So any type of pop-up will be JavaScript. Let's do something fun. Let's use a library for a pop-up. I could make it myself, but let's use a library really quick. So what's fantastic about libraries is, so semantic UI, so we're going to use a CDN. We're going to copy this. So this is great. So this is what I use for just grabbing like libraries. So you can just put this inside your head tag. So you just do this. You can just grab it. I'm gonna grab the JavaScript and I'm gonna grab the HTML. So remember when I said that you can include your JavaScript and your CSS inside the HTML? So this is how you would do it. You would just grab it. So I can also grab it from websites too, the JavaScript and HTML. So this is the script tag for one site, and this another one. So that should just work, honestly. And then we want jQuery and jQuery. I hope this works, honestly. So we're gonna take jQuery. We're gonna do some all kinds of fun stuff. We're just gonna include all this JavaScript, and so let's make that big for I can see. So this is including jQuery, which is a library, a JavaScript library, and then we're gonna do semantic UI. We're gonna include the JavaScript and the CSS for that. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Joshim White, but you're correct. It's Katamoto. %100% correct. It is called a modal. Well, I guess it's a type of pop-up. Alright, so yeah, I hope everything loaded. What the crap is that? Let's see. Let's just test out if it loaded or not. I don't think so. Oh, maybe it did. Okay, maybe it worked. Alright. So jQuery is a popular JavaScript library. It makes stuff a lot easier than, using native JavaScript. So that's why I'm using jQuery. That's why I'm imported the jQuery library. It's a Dutch name. Oh man, I was close. Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to look up the pronunciation. Because I can't pronounce anything. Okay, so we're using jQuery and we're going to do a modal. Okay, this is going to be fun. Oh yes, okay, so another important HTML element that I forgot to mention is button. Button is very important too. I keep forgetting. Button is important, and also input. So input is also important. So anytime you want to do an input or a button, so like a text field is an example. If you want select options, that's also important. So these are form fields, if you want to call them that. So inputs, HTML. So let me show you some. This is a great website, Mozilla. Mozilla is great for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I would always go there if you need any help. See, this is input field, so you can just type in. So everybody's used to like filling out a form. These are inputs for forms, so you can just type stuff in there. Yep. Button is an example. Checkbox. So in order to create a checkbox, you change input. It has an attribute called type, and then you change it to checkbox. You can also change the type to date, and it will create you one of these. Yeah, you can do email, and it will create you an email one. File does an uploader like this. Yeah, there's all kinds of input fields that you can go into. Great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. So these are your main HTML tags. Again, like really these are all the ones you need to know, literally. And then you pretty much need to know the attributes, which there isn't many. Class is an important one. ID is an important attribute, but really that's pretty much the only ones you really need to know, except for input. You need to know the type attribute, because that allows you to change your input types. Type is also an attribute on button. That's probably another one. But other than that, that's pretty much all the attributes you need to know is ID and class. Yep. Okay, so back to the modal. So now I'm gonna have to do some coding here. So you can have your JavaScript in a separate file, but I'm just gonna do it inline. So in order to do it inline, you say script, you do a script tag, and then you say, sorry, it's been a minute since I've actually seen it. So semantic UI. So this is the library I'm using to do the modal pop-up. So this is like what I do daily. Whenever I'm using like a library for programming, I'm always looking up stuff, which is just your job as a programmer. So they have modals. So right here, this is what was mentioned, modal. You click modal, and all you have to do is just this here. Yep. Basically, pop this in. This is basically saying, oh, create a div. It has the class UI modal, and it has another div inside of it called header. Great stuff, great stuff. And then what you need to do is you need to call this piece of code right here. And there we go. So basically it says, okay, this is jQuery right here. This is a jQuery library. It's saying get, or no, I need to get rid of this part. It says grab this HTML here and then display it as a modal. Hopefully it works. There it is, woo! You see that modal? You see it? It's amazing. All right, let's take this a step further. We can have a button. We'll say open modal. And then we'll call this button, we'll give it a class called modal button. And then inside here, we'll say, so remember the dot means class, and then we'll just say modal button. And then we're gonna say when it gets clicked, when the modal button gets clicked, we're gonna do this. When the modal button is clicked, we're gonna get our modal, and then we're gonna show it. So this UI modal is here. So this entire HTML right here is selected when it calls the $sign UI modal. So it's going to get all this and then it's going to show it as a modal. This is the method that says show it as a modal. So when you click this button, open modal, boom, there it is. See, this is why libraries are important. Because normally I would have to write the code to make the modal and pop up, but I can do it in just a few lines here because the code is already written for me. And I was able to do that because I imported the code here. This is where the code was imported from. I imported the library here, and then I was able to use simple code to create the modal there. Can you make it to where if you hover, it will pop up too? There are also some cool, so this library that I'm using called Semantic, it does some cool effects. It does some cool ones. Let me see. There's some cool ones. There's some cool effects here, but I could do that. Let me see. Instead of being clicked, I can do, what was it? Oh my goodness, I'm blanking. Oh, mouse over, that's what it's called. Yeah, so I just do mouse over. I think I can do pointer over too. Yep, so you can just change it. So instead of a click, I can just change it to mouse over. And then when I put my mouse over it, instead of clicking, it just did it. I didn't click, I just put my mouse over. But say, okay, so the button might be a little confusing. It might look like I'm clicking it. So maybe I want to say, okay, so instead of the button, I can actually do it on the text. So now when I put my mouse over the text, it'll actually do it now. So if I put my mouse over the text, it's gonna pop up. So I just put it over the text, boom, pops up. So when you hover over it, it just does it. Cool stuff. So JavaScript can do anything that you can think of. You can have JavaScript like write to files. You can have JavaScript when someone clicks. So some crazy things that people do JavaScript for. So like you can have JavaScript redirect people to pages. You can have JavaScript like log, like I can have you go on a website and log your password whenever you type inside of an input. So that's some things that you gotta watch out for, because people can log your password. People can read some of the sensitive data that you submit to forms. When you click like emails or images, sometimes there's some JavaScript that can do some pretty nasty stuff. So yeah. So we have, so the library that I would just use is called jQuery. So jQuery, instead of using like document query selector to get an element on the page, you can use the $sign to do the same thing, just about. Kind of saves you on time. JavaScript is its own, probably like its own tutorial, but this is kind of the basics that you would go with. So the HTML, the CSS, this is CSS, the JavaScript. On one of your program screens, can you make a bot? I could definitely make a bot. I could definitely make a bot. I could probably make a. It depends. What? It depends what the bot does. But yeah, you can do pretty much anything. Let me think. Can I do anything else? Like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. So with JavaScript is like such a range of things to do. Like you can do so many animations with JavaScript. Um, it just takes so much time if you're not using a library. So there's like, um, what is it? WebGL maybe? Um, I believe it's called WebGL. Let me see. I used to take this in my graphics class. Yeah, so there's this basically there's OpenGL, which allows you to do all kinds of graphic stuff, but WebGL allows you to do it with JavaScript and Canvas. So with the Canvas, you can like basically paint on the screen, and then you can make like objects. You can make 2D objects. You can make 3D objects. You can make games. You can pretty much like the amount of math that's involved with it is crazy. Like you gotta know like viewports and like there's perspective involved. There's a lot of trigonometry for sure. I think this is like a good, yeah. So these are like examples of what you can do with WebGL with 3D modeling and stuff. You can make legit games using JavaScript just in your browser. Okay, let's see. Hey, new to your stream. I'm learning on my own right now, stumbling my way through HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript. Did you go to school or are you self-taught? Just curious. So I am. So yeah. So I'm a programmer. Um, I'm a programmer. Been a programmer for 5 years. My main career is it's somewhat web development. It's more or less is I would say more or less web development. I work in PHP, HTML, CSS, JavaScript daily. So I learned how to program when I was in high school. So I was self-taught in high school. My first programming language was JavaScript, which I was like, why? I practiced. I gave up on JavaScript for a while because I was like, every time I ran it, I was getting errors. I was like, why isn't this working? I don't understand, and I gave up on it. And then I moved to PHP, and then I struggled with PHP, and then went back to JavaScript, and I finally got JavaScript down. And then everything else is just icing on the cake. And then I went to college, and then I was like, I don't know what to do with my life. I already know programming. Let me just pick that as my major. So that's what my degree is in. It's in computer information systems, which was like half programming, half business. I guess it was applied programming basically. Are you struggling with anything like in regards to HTML, JavaScript, CSS? But yeah, this is some fun stuff. This is the right like web development is like the best thing you can possibly do. Like if you can control the web, you control the world. That's my opinion anyway. And the thing about JavaScript is it's like the new kid on the block. Everybody loves JavaScript. Some of my favorite games are I think Lichess, like it's a chess app. It was developed in JavaScript. Some of it, at least, was developed in TypeScript, I think. So that's like a strict JavaScript language. But yeah, it's amazing. Have I actually done? I did do like do I have any cool JavaScript programs? I don't think I do, but yeah, I don't think I do. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the basics. Does anybody want me to create anything cool? Is there any questions? Is there something out there? Like there's a bunch of like tools out there that allows you to deploy your apps faster. There's so many out there. I don't even know them all. I think someone mentioned earlier Blazor. I've never heard of it. Someone said, "What's your thought on Blazor?" I've never heard of it whatsoever. You said I'm just playing around, but I feel like the online learning websites like FreeCodeCamp gives you a very, very general idea on how to do places to practice. Oh, I got a few. Yeah, so my number one source for anything HTML, anything CSS, anything JavaScript, I think Mozilla does a very good job. Oops, not Mozilla Firefox. Mozilla in general. Or not. Is it Mozilla? Let me see. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's Mozilla. I think they like I can't argue with them. Like they're really good. Their documentations are really good. So Mozilla, and you go to beginner tutorials, and I like they're so good. Even for me, and I'm advanced. Their documentations are so well written. Like I don't go anywhere else. This is like the main one I go to. So like Introduction to HTML, prerequisites. They have everything that you could possibly need. I don't know if the tutorials are good. Oh, let's try to get started. Basically tells you what HTML is, the the autonomy of it. Basically what I said. There's an open tag. That's the syntax. There's a closing tag, and then you have the content in between. Pretty much breaks it down. Yeah, I mean the tutorials I think can't be beat. I mean it's a lot, honestly. I think some of like if you want in detailed, this is the site. If you want a general overview, then W3 Schools is probably a good one for like general overview. Even though they have like a lot of ads on there and it's slow as dirt. Like this is a general overview. Yeah, W3 Schools has general overview. That's how I learned how to. That's actually how I learned how to program. Is W3 Schools. But like I said, they have so many ads on it now. Like it's hard for my website to for my browser to load it. But yeah, this is just a general overview. They give you a pretty good general overview, and then you can just go through each lessons. They go over each tag, and then you can actually you can go into this editor and actually type in stuff to see if it's working. So you can like type in some stuff, hit run, and there it is. So that's honestly how I learned. That's how I was self-taught. I went to W3 Schools, even though they're overrun by ads now. And they have everything. They have CSS. So if you want to, just test out some CSS here. So this says light blue. If I change it to green, hit run, it changes it. So they actually have hands-on lessons, so some JavaScript. Click me to see the date, so you can actually test it out. Yeah, no problem. Yep, so W3 School, you have Mozilla. They're meant, I think those are pretty good ones. There's probably like HTML Rocks or something. HTML5 Rocks. I think I've seen that. I think they have tutorials too. Let me see. Oh, maybe it's not what I was thinking. Maybe they're in depth. Maybe they're more in depth than I remember. But yeah, there's those are some options there. You can literally control the world. So some reasons why to use, to get into HTML, to get into CSS, to get in JavaScript. Well, you can make a website. You can make a website just like this, because when you inspect it, you can basically copy everything here. Like if I were to I don't know if this is gonna work, but okay. oh, oh gosh, I got so many tabs open. Okay, localhost 8080. Okay, let's test this out. Basically, I copied all the HTML from W3 Schools, right? I pasted it into this file. Now it should technically work and replicate it. Well, it was close enough. The CSS is all messed up, but basically you get the point. Like some stuff didn't load, but basically you can copy an exact website. It didn't work in this case, but do you know how to make that snake game? I could probably actually make one, because that one's pretty easy. So that one that's a 2D game. First of all, oh crap, that scared the crap out of me. Thanks for the follow. Oh man, thank you for the follow. It scared me though. Yep. If you have any more questions, just let me know. Just message me on Twitch. I'll gladly answer any questions. Anytime, any place. I love programming. But yeah, so with the snake game, that one's probably the easiest thing to recreate, because first of all, it's 2D. You're dealing with a bunch of squares, so you can probably just make it. And you would use the WebGL library, like I was mentioning earlier. Let me show some examples. Isn't that freaking cool? Create it with JavaScript, man. WebGL. Isn't that crazy? That's a lot of fish. You can just increase it. Isn't that crazy? Oh man, oh gosh, that is hurting my eye. These aren't really games, but these are like the things that you can create, like the 3D models and stuff. It's amazing. That's actually interesting right there. That's probably hard to do. But yeah, just some examples. Some games that you can actually create in the browser. I mean, there's like for game development, I wouldn't use JavaScript for it, but it's possible. That's the point. Is there a lot of math? Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely it is. It's so much freaking math. It hurts my head. Like I had to learn linear algebra in order to make a game. Like it's crazy. Like you gotta learn tangents, you gotta learn like um some of the stuff that you solve in three-dimensional space, you have to do four-dimensional matrices in order to solve the problems. I'm like, four dimensions? You gotta go to the fourth dimension in order to solve this problem? What? That makes no sense to me. But yeah, um, it's a lot of math involved. Okay. What's the most complex thing that you know how to make? Mmm. 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 The most complex thing that I know how to make. I don't know that one. I mean, I have made a video game in the past. Can I can I make a video game now? No. Oh, oh. I guess the most complex things I made on my job is I was able to so you could take a picture. You could take a picture of a test with your phone, and it would it would scan the page for like filled in bubbles because it's like a Scantron or whatever. You take a picture of it, it would find the filled in bubbles, it would highlight them, and then it would choose the correct answer. It was like if you filled in a bubble B, it would find it on the page, it would highlight it, it would pull it from the page, and then it will have a list of all the answers that you had marked on the page. Now that was tough. Now that took some like trigonometry because like the tech like oh gosh, it was so tough. I had to do like so much trigonometry. It was ridiculous. It was so complex. Oh man. Oh gosh. But yeah, it was fun. But there's so much stuff you can do. For example, I play Paladins, right? So there's this. Yeah, so this is called Paladins Guru, right? So there's these things called APIs, which you can get data from. So you can like ping their API and basically get stats on all the players. So this is what basically the website does. It just pings their, or it pulls from their API and gets stats and display it on the site. And the cool thing is you can run ads on your site and you can get money from Google. That's one of the best things about websites. You see all these ads here? They're getting money off of it. Have I made money off of Google? Yes. Have I made a lot of money? No. Let me show you an example. Boom! Look at that. Y'all see that? $100. I made $100 off of Google. $100 on an ad. Ooh, they actually gonna pay me. Just from running ads, I got $100. Woo! All you have to do is add ads on your website. Boom, easy. Just that easy. I made 11 cents in 7 days. Woo! But yeah, that's the reason for you to get into web design, because some of these sites, they have ads on all of stuff, and you can just make money. I love these types of apps. Find the answers for you, especially math. Yep. Yeah, next stream, I think I'll actually make something. I think I'll make something fun. I don't know what I'm gonna make yet. I guess I can get some ideas from some people, or get some ideas online and make something really interesting. Some other things that you can do, you can make an app. You can make a phone app. So there's like great libraries out there, like React Native, that you create an app. What goes into making a VPN? Oh, I have no clue. I am not a network guy. But what I assume, I'm just assuming here because I'm not a network guy. I don't do networks at all. But what I assume is you make a local network and then you expose it to the outside world. So with your router and stuff, you can create a local network. So with my router, it gives out IP, or it gives out a local IP address, and then it exposes me to the outside world with an external IP address. And within your internal network, you can basically make something similar to a VPN. I assume. I have the general concept down, not the actual implementation. And there's a bit math involved with networking. That's more IT. I'm not IT. I do not envy people who do IT. That is not me. I am a programmer through and through. But yeah, these are the three pillars of web development: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then there's other stuff like, so the biggest, so 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 HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are just part of it. Normally you have a web server. So a web server is basically a computer that's always connected to the internet. And then with a web server, it does like HTTP protocols, and some big ones are Apache. So Apache is a big one. So it runs on the server, creates a web server. Apache is a big one. Nginx is another one. So that's pretty much what you'll see on the web. Either it's running Apache or it's running Nginx. I'm sure there's others out there, but these are the main ones. You won't see any other else, most likely. But yeah, these are the software, or these are the web servers that run on the server, and then accompanying that is typically programming languages that weren't run on the server, like PHP. Is a mobile app completely different from a game on the internet or a console? Mobile game. Wait, is a mobile game completely different from a game on the internet or in a console? Is it different? Is it different? Is it different? Is it different? I mean, I would, yeah, yeah, it's different. Like, let me see how to explain this. I wouldn't even know. Like, it depends what engine it was. Yeah, yeah, that's where I would go. It depends on what engine built it. Because if you want to get into web development, then you could use what's some of the big companies that they be using? The engines they be using. Crap. Unreal Engine. Gosh, I was blanking on that one. So if you want to make your own game, if you want to make your own game, you can use the Unreal Engine. So this is a type of platform that they use to create games. So here's an example. Some companies use like build their own engines. Some people build their own engines. Some people just use already built engines to make their games. And this is a popular one, Unreal Engine. It's a very popular one. So as you can see, I didn't even know they had 5. But yeah, the world's most open, advanced, real-time 3D creation tool. And it's used for game development. And you can download it. You can download it and start creating your game. Epic Games created it, or yeah, they have it open source. How do phones recognize fingerprints and faces? What's it called? What I want to say. And differentiate between different faces and fingerprints. It's AI. I'm gonna chalk that one up as AI. I'm gonna say it's AI. It's just geometry. They get a general idea of the shape of your head, and then all the facial features. They're able to pretty much convert your face into shapes, and then compare that shape to a previous image of it that it has already gotten. And then if it's a 70, 80, 90% match, depends on whether the phone unlocks or not. And then with your fingerprint, you can actually see the lines. You can actually see on your finger the lines. It's the same thing when you put ink on your finger and then you press down on a piece of paper. You'll see the lines. Your fingerprint. Same thing. When you touch the fingerprint scanner, it's able to see those lines. It's making those smart glasses like the Raspberry Pi display thing. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Just tiny computers inside glasses. But yeah, 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 cool stuff, cool stuff, cool stuff. Is there anything else I want to make before I head out? Yeah, I guess I can do just more, just chatting, just chatting. Anything from anybody? Any more questions that you have? Oh, do I want to make phones? Yes, I would love to make phones. That's why I'm gonna get me a Raspberry Pi so I can start playing with it. But there's like shortages. Like everything has shortages. You can make your own operating system too. You can use Linux if you want. Like Linux is open source, so that's an awesome thing. So open source software is basically software that is available to the public and is kept by developers. So you can download the source code yourself, and then you can just make changes or tweaks to it. So Linux is an example of an open source operating system that's very famous. It's used on a lot of servers, and it's tried and true. It's been tested, battle tested. It's been around for a while. You can actually download the source code, install it on any computer, and you can make tweaks to it. So I can install it on any device, make tweaks to it, create my own operating system. It's pretty cool. Do you want to make phone apps? So it's so funny that I am actually working on an app for my job. I'm gonna have to go in. So I'm actually trying to figure out how to deploy this app for my job. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. But phone apps are actually pretty easy nowadays to create. They're actually really easy to create. So there's like different deployment software tools that you can use. So Expo is an example. So Expo is a good one. So make any app run anywhere. So Expo is a good one to use in order to create apps. There's some other ones. I just can't think of anything right now. I just know Expo off the top of my head. But they allow you to deploy apps and make it really easy for you to do so. What type of phones, like smartphones or something futuristic? Yes, I would like to make a smartphone. There's actually some cool concepts out there. Like there's like a block phone back in the day. I think phone block. It's just an idea, but it's basically a modular phone. It's just kind of like a concept where you kind of like build your phone. So you can just add more, you can just add a little block to it and just add more storage, or you can add a camera to it by putting these blocks on your phone. It's just a concept. Ooh, I probably shouldn't play that. But it's just like a concept where these blocks can just be added to the phone. I seen one on jerry rigging everything. Yeah. Yep. Pretty cool. Google had was it Google? It was either Google or Samsung. They had like similar concepts, and then there's not a market for it. People are lazy. People don't want to build their own phones, which I believe is true. I believe like nobody's gonna like go around buying blocks and just putting it on their phone. I think people are just want to buy a phone with all the stuff already in it. They're not gonna buy blocks and just tack it on there. So that's why a lot of these modular phones, that's what they're called. A lot of these modular phones aren't our thing. Yeah, Motorola has a few modular type phones like that you can just add on to it. This died. Google had Project Aura, that's what it was, and then they canceled it. But yeah. Do you think Android is more advanced than iOS? Android is open source, so I think it's better relatively than iOS. I think let me start over. iOS is probably, see, Android can adapt to anything, but iOS is specifically for Apple hardware. So, does iOS run better on Apple products? Yes. Does it outperform Android products? Most likely, yes, because it's running on Apple hardware. Whereas Android runs on so many different hardware from so many different companies like Samsung, LG, Google. Like, it doesn't have a single hardware that it runs on. But iOS is optimized for Apple hardware, so that's why it always works better, because that's all it runs on. It doesn't, you can't put, because of licensing basically and copyright laws, you can't put iOS on a Samsung phone. Fairphone was the name? Yes, I saw that. Where was it? Yeah, Fairphone. Yeah, I think that died when that one died too. Was it? Did it die? I feel like it died. I did look into most of this stuff. Like, most of these projects died. Oh, no, 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 no. I guess it's up. Oh, it did not raise much money. See, people aren't interested in modular phones. If the first generation only raised $300,000 in funds, that is not a lot. People are not interested. Yeah, it just feels like Apple is copying what Android is doing features wise. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Android is copying Apple. I mean, I feel like Apple has been doing innovative stuff since the very beginning, and people started copying it. Like, I think Apple Pay was the first thing that came out, and then now everybody's copying that. Like Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and then maybe Apple was the first one to come out with all those cameras on their phones, and I think everybody else started putting multiple cameras on their phone. I'm pretty sure Apple is pretty much the one that's being innovative, and everybody else is copying it. I believe. I'm not 100% clear. Like, maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. This is HTC, maybe. Maybe it was the first one to do dual lens. But I feel like Apple has been doing a lot of innovative stuff, and a lot of people like to copy them. I feel like that's true. Because look at Microsoft, right? So, Mac OS has like the whole modern type setup with like Mac OS, so Mac. Yeah, like their dock. I forgot what it's called. What's their dock called? But yeah, like their dock is like so modern, has like rounded corners for the icons and everything. And look at like Microsoft. They recently changed their operating system to have that rounded corner, more modern feel. I remember having an app on my Note 3 that was tap to pay. It wasn't Samsung or Android, but it was pre-installed on the phone. Wow, that's wow. IDK, I just see comments on Insta saying Apple is trying to keep up with Android. Wow, whatever, Instagram, whatever. Like, Apple products outperform most of the competition. Like, their M1 chips are pretty amazing. I don't think they use Intel chips anymore. Or maybe they still do in some of their projects, but they're switching over to their M1 chips, which is their new chips that they're using on their Apple products. And it's just working better overall. Competition from Intel. But yeah, 30% faster overall, and finally 3 times faster. The stream's starting to die. Why? Why stream? Are you telling me I need to go? Oh, you're right. It's probably because I'm on the computer. I'm on all these websites. I got all these tabs open. That's why I gotta close out some of them. Oh, never mind. It doesn't say anything. It says my performance is pretty good. It says my drop frames is at 0.8%, so that's pretty good. Yeah, too many tabs. That's it. I closed them out. Life is good once again. I'm at 57 followers. Oh my goodness. I am leveling up. Chrome extremely likes RAM. I remember when Chrome did like barely use anything, but now it's like crazy. Like it uses like 4 gigs, I think. Does it use 4 gigs? How much RAM does Chrome use now? Like sometimes when I'm using Chrome, it's like 4 gigs. And that's pretty reasonable right now. But it can get up there. Well, I guess I'm bad with tabs. I have so many tabs open sometimes. Maybe that's why. I think about 2 hours is your computer limit. Yes. Agreed. My computer's like, it starts coughing, and then it's like, I need a break. But yeah. So, any other any other struggles programming wise anybody's having? Anybody want to know anything else about HTML, JavaScript, CSS? Is there any other? Because I can do some more stuff. I can do a few more. Oh, that's funny. So the cool thing about VS Code is, because I use VS Code all the time, I use it on my daily job. But there's something built into VS Code. It's called Emmet. So Emmet allows you to do more more stuff in less time. And I only know a little bit about Emmet, so you can kind of like do. See, you'll see it pop up, say Emmet abbreviations, and you can do div times 5 and tab. You create me 5 divs just like that, just that quickly, and then you're able to create multiple divs, and then you can add text really quickly. And then it can get so complicated. Like you can say, I want 5 divs, and then I want their text to say, I don't know, foo maybe, and then you can just create it that fast. Or you want to say 5 divs, and then you want to say, I don't know, number, and then you can add number counts, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can make a list. It's so cool. Emmet is just amazing. Or you can even go even further. You can be like, okay, I want 5 divs, each with, I don't know, each with a p tag, and then inside the p tag have it say list number that, and it'll make it for you, instead of me having to copy paste all these divs and p tags. Am I close to 3 viewer average yet? Not yet, but it's getting higher every day. Can you make a spam bot texter to your ex? Yes, you can. You can definitely do that. You can actually. Yeah, you can do some. Yeah, you can do some cruel stuff. Yeah. I'm not gonna say that one, but you can do some funny stuff. But yeah, Emmet is great for HTML. It's creating a lot of HTML markup, like a repetitive markup. I can show. There's like, not Emmet Till. The crap. But basically here's the cheat sheet. It basically gives you how it works. So that's what I was using. I was using multiplication. So it allows you to quickly do the markup. So here's some other examples. See, allows you to create quick and easy markup really quick instead of having to copy and paste. And here's your cheat sheet to figure it all out. How come you don't use Eclipse or other editors? Don't get me wrong, I like VS Code. Eclipse, I think I've actually used Eclipse before. I haven't seen it in a while. I can't spell. Let me see what it looks like again. I can't remember. Oh yeah, I used Eclipse in like college. I used it in college. I didn't like it. I think Eclipse is more for Java. That's why I don't use it. Yeah, it's tools for Java development. It's more towards Java. If you're a Java developer, then yeah, use Eclipse. But it's the IDE mainly for Java. That's why. And VS Code is pretty much for, I mean, you just install what you need for whatever programming language you need. Yeah, IDE, yeah. Integrated Development Environment. Those lovely acronyms. Bots, where's the bots? Where'd the bots be? But yeah, let me think of anything else. Yeah, Emmet's great for that markup. CSS, plenty of CSS. Man, I think each one of these could, have their own in-depth stream for it, but I kind of just did an overview of of the basics of how they work overall. And like I said during the beginning of the stream, I'm using Docker. So Docker is basically a container. It allows you to isolate part of your computer. So like networking is isolated in a Docker container. It has its own like networking setup. I think it also like storage, like disk disk and RAM is also isolated in the Docker container. So it's basically its own. It basically is almost on par with its own separate machine. That's basically what a container is pretty much. It's almost imitating its own separate computer. Yeah, I want to go back and rewatch it in the stream. Yes, Docker is amazing. So whenever you want to like anytime, yeah, anytime that you want to use a programming language, I suggest you create a Docker container and then install it inside the Docker container. Because some programming language you have to install, and then you have like I wouldn't install that personally on my computer. I would install it into the Docker container where it's isolated from my computer, and then just do all my programming inside that container where it's isolated and it doesn't affect my actual computer. So I would I was so there's like this programming language very similar to Java called Scala. So Scala is a very similar programming language to Java. What I do is I install Scala in the container and then I run the Scala app inside the container. So if I do Docker container ls, or no Docker, no, sorry, my bad, this is the wrong VS Code. If I do Docker exit, oh, this is a container prompt. Can you make shadow effects on certain things or other effects? Yes, I can actually display that too. Yeah, so Docker image ls. So here it is. Here's my Docker image. It's called Scala. So this is the thing that I use for my Scala. So anytime I want to program in Scala, I run this Docker container, and then I run Scala in this Docker container to see all my programming in Scala. Because with Scala, you have to download it, the programming language, on your computer, and then you have to run it. And I don't want to download it on my computer. I want to isolate it and then run it. Because that way, if I isolate it, I can delete it pretty easily. Because all I have to do is just shut down the container. Can I add shadow? Sure. Let's see. I actually do that on a regular basis. Oh, you gotta know your short keys. It's always important to know your short keys. So in order to switch windows really quickly, you press Alt Tab. So this pulls up all my windows, and then you hold down Alt, and then you press Tab, and then you press Shift Tab to go back. And I can just pull up. If I want the task manager to pop up, I just do that. If I want VS Code, then I do that. If I want my window, I can just Alt Tab. Curtain close or confetti drop, yeah, that would take more time. But like shadows, like a shadow effect, I guess I can make that. Like some stuff takes a lot of time, and then some stuff like a library has it. Like I don't know. Like sometimes you can just search for stuff. Like CSS Tricks is an awesome site. Yeah, so that's just some examples of effects. Just some examples out there. Shortcuts are like I wouldn't be a good programmer if I didn't have shortcuts in my pocket. Like I'm able to do so many things with shortcuts. Like I know how to open up this terminal. I can close the terminal, open up the terminal just with short keys. I know how to get rid of this sidebar here with short keys. I can do some type of text here, and then I can duplicate it really quick. I can go to the beginning of the lines like this. I can go to the end of the line like that. I can use multiple cursors to, edit multiple lines at the same time. I can go to the end of the line, and then, do some more stuff. I can select them all, backtrack. I can do that. I can copy. I can paste. I can switch lines. I can like move them up and down. I can swap them back and forth. I knew so many short keys. YouTube some CSS designs and just sit back. There are some people with crazy amount of talent with CSS. Yes, their skills are beyond me because there's like so many hacks and tricks that you can do with CSS. There's like, and on top of that, you can create images using CSS and HTML. Like you can do like some crazy SVG. See, look, there's a kiwi. You can make that with CSVs. Like, people usually do it with Photoshop, but you can also do it by hand if you want. I wouldn't do it by hand, but you can do it by hand. Like I can change the kiwi to red if I want to. Alright, nope, can't do that. This is compiled. It's not gonna let me do it. But yeah. There's some cool stuff. I'm gonna do some advanced stuff for sure on stream one day. Is there anything else? Yep. So that's some stuff to know if you're looking to program. If you're looking to program, you could possibly use Docker, which allows you to do containers and isolate your programs. You can do VS Code for your IDE. Know your command line for sure. Know your short keys. What's a task that might take some time to do manually that is faster programming it? What's a task that might take some time to do manually that is faster programming it? Honestly, you can do everything faster by programming it. Like, there's so many things that you can automate for businesses. Like, a website is basically lots of tasks that you can do faster than programming it. Or, yeah, by programming it. Like, you can send out a bunch of bulk emails, you can do auto replies. Say you click a button on a website, it can send an email, it can send a text, it can log some information for you, and then it could put a note on your calendar all by clicking a button. Like, you can automate tasks. Discord, lurk. I don't know why none of that worked. But yeah. No commands. I thought it was working. I believed it was working. What is it called? Streamlabs. Yep, it's supposed to be working. I don't know why it's not working. The cloud bot. Oh, it's not on. Yep. My bad. Forgot. I don't know how they got disabled. That's weird. I guess the cloud bot will come on the next stream. Because I don't think it's going to come on this one. Oh, never mind. Lies. Lies. Okay, I need a permanent one, though. I don't think that link is the right one. Let me go to Discord. Alright, how do you create a link? I can't even freaking remember. Oh gosh, how do you make a link? Oh, my life. Let's see. I don't even remember. I always forget. Yeah, that looks right. Alright, that looks right. Invite people. Yes. That's me. Yeah. Alright, let's see if that link worked. And that's not the new one. Or maybe it is. Oh, I lied. It is the new one. Okay, that's cool. I think that's the right one. Cool. So that works. So the Discord bot works now. If anybody wants any commands here, I will definitely put some on here. Any additional commands, I am gladly put some on there. Lurk. I don't recognize that one. Nope, I don't recognize that one. Oh, Nightbot is working. Well, we know Nightbot is working. Yeah. Here's some other commands here. I don't know what lurk is. I don't see it anywhere. Yeah, I don't see it. I think I can change the game and title as a mod. Oh, really? Oh, that. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's some cool stuff, man. Bots. Alright. Oh, lurk is a custom command. Yeah, I need to add that in. I'll have to add that one day. Yep, sure is. I don't know what it does though. What? We'll just do the default, just to play with it. Oh, I think that's probably like a emote, but I don't see it. I figured it was. Do you see it? I don't see it. But yep. Oh, well, now I know. Alright, cool. Oh, I don't see it. Yeah, I didn't see it either. But you have to have the same extension. I guess that's true. Because I definitely don't see it. That's cool. I didn't know you could change it. That's cool. The power. The power. See, that's programming for you. All it does is hit an API, and then it sets the title. That's basically how Streamlabs does it. Because it has my API key, and it can hit the endpoint and change titles and stuff. So the bot's pretty much doing the same thing. Oh, I just thought of something crazy too. Like, you can do like with JavaScript, you can also do green screen. You can access your camera and you can do green screens.
Ok, alors attends, ça c'est bon. Non, ça enregistre là. C'est juste pour voir, je prends des trucs n'importe quoi, hein, c'est normal. Vas-y, est-ce que tu peux bouger un peu, s'il te plaît?
It's so cool.
Vas-y, arrête-toi. C'est bon, ça suffit.
So you can pretty much access the webcam, and then you can take live footage with JavaScript, and you can edit the background. So that's what they did. It's pretty cool. Can you make a filter? Yes. You can make filters. not this type of filter. Like a filter effect, that's what there's not a live demo, but yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff. Ah. Oh, that scared me. I didn't even look at it. Like a face filter? Yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can do so many types of manipulations. It's crazy. So many types of manipulation. It's crazy. But yeah. Yep. Yeah, this was a productive stream. We learned some HTML, we learned some CSS, we learned some JavaScript. Learned a lot of stuff today. I'm gonna keep chatting for a while, but for a little bit. But let me prepare for my outro. There was a couple of new faces, first time chatters. Mr. B Jammin', he be jamming, so he came along. Flux, he had a question about Blazor, which I had no idea what that was. Faux GGG. Yeah, there's a couple of new people on the stream today. I hit 3 hours, I know. Wow, it's incredible. I've been streaming more. Do you not go on streamer mode? Streamer mode? ¿Cómo? ¿Qué es streamer mode? 3 horas. 3 horas. Oh, I see. Normally I never get on Discord though. When I'm streaming, I never have that open. I usually close out everything. But yeah, yep. Anything else? Anybody else? Anyone else have any more questions? Anything else? I think tomorrow, so since I failed to stream Tuesday. No. What it is today? Yeah, I failed to stream Tuesday because I was playing chess. I had to win at chess, you know. I had to play some chess. That's basically what I did. Play some chess. Yep, played some chess. Won some games. I did lose a couple, but I think I won more than I lost. Yeah, that's the real reason I didn't. Are you ranked in chess? I mean, online I am, not officially in person. I haven't played no tournaments or anything. But yeah, one of my favorite chess apps is called Lichess. Lichess is great. Like, are you GM? Wouldn't even be close. Not even close. Not even close. I never learned to play chess. Chess is great. I've literally, like, wait, let me see if my apartment's dirty before I put down the green screen. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Let's see. That was horrible. There's like a filter on there. Alright, there we go. But yeah. I love chess. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. It says make your move. Make your move. Yep. It's pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. And then I have large canvas arts everywhere. Like right there. Canvas art. Bunch of canvas art. That's in the back. My apartment's not lit, but it's hear no evil, speak no evil, and see no evil. Because he has the headphones and the mask and then the glasses. In the back. Is that a curved TV? Yes, it's 100% curved. It's funny because my boss broke my last one. He literally broke my curved TV. But yeah, that TV is curved. It's amazing that you saw that. Wow. I can barely see it. But yeah, it's curved TV. I got some photos up. I know, right? Yeah, literally the stand that it's sitting on, he delivered that stand, and then he put the TV on top of it, and then it was cracked. I was like, crap, that sucks. Yep, it's a curved TV. It's amazing. Oh, my monitor is also curved. Let me see if I can. It's a curved monitor. No, my curved monitor. My apartment's a mess. That side is a mess over there. I gotta fold all those clothes. No, I don't want to. And I have laundry stuff all over there. But yeah, that's just my apartment. Hopefully I'll be getting a house soon. I want a large curved monitor. That will be my next buy. See, I love my curved monitor. I love my curved TV. I would love to have everything curved, but the thing about curved stuff is like they break easily. Like you gotta be very careful. Not only so, my boss did break my curved TV, but this curved monitor it came broke. Like when they delivered it, it was completely shattered. And then I sent it back to Samsung, and then they repaired it, and then they sent it back, and it was still slightly broken. Like there was like this line, this large thick line that was like damaged. And then I sent it back, and then they sent it back to me again, and then it was still broken. So then I sent it back, and it was like, okay, we're just gonna send you a new one. And then finally it came. The new one was unbroken. So, did you fight your boss? No, he paid for the replacement. That's funny. He paid for a replacement, so a new one came. No worries. Fight my boss and then lose my job. But yeah, yep. It's my boss. He actually works somewhere else now. He works somewhere else, and square up where I get a raise. Raise. I deserve it. Yeah, he doesn't work. He doesn't work at the company anymore. That means his position is open. I don't know what my next setup is gonna be. I don't know what I want next. I think so. What I want really, I want a house, and then when I get me a house, I'm gonna have a room just dedicated for streaming. I think I'm gonna build one of those fancy desks that people be having with LED lights and all kinds of stuff, and just a bunch of shelves and all kinds of patterns and stuff. Because right now it's kind of like in the living room type area. But when I get me a house, I'm gonna have my own room, and it's just gonna be one room dedicated to streaming. Now that'll be cool. Do tech companies do internships? Yep. Regularly? I'm not sure. But my company has done some before. I don't think it has done anything recently. But yeah. There's also like programming boot camps that people can do. That kind of like gets you into programming and stuff. But yeah, super interesting. And then like all my stuff is just amazing. Like I have so much stuff right here. Like I got wires everywhere, but my keyboard's awesome. My mouse pad is all LED lights, so that's pretty cool. And then my mouse, obviously my LG. Gotta work on that setup. Do you want a multi-monitor setup? I don't like multiple monitors. So when I was at the office, when I was working at the office, I had like 3 monitors on my desk and I never used them. Had literally 3 monitors on my desk and I never used one of them. I don't know. One monitor is good enough for me, which I use, which is just the one I use. But normally I'm just on the computer and I don't need a monitor. I need something very light to just take with me because I'm usually just on the go kind of person. I don't like to sit around at a desk. When I'm streaming, yeah. When I'm doing work, maybe. Ooh, I'll post a pic of my wife and mine set up. Yes, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Most of my setup is right. I usually post my setup on Instagram. That's pretty much my setup. That's pretty much everything, honestly. Because I have the curve monitor. I have. Oh yeah. I don't have it turned on. Let me see. Oh, let me see. I don't know where it's at. But yeah, there's this remote that turned. Oh, there it is. I don't think it's plugged in either. Oh gosh, there we go. That's pretty much my desk. I know, right? And the cool thing about it is I got this desk for free. I got this desk for free. There were so many defects with this desk that I reported it to Amazon, and then they gave me a full refund. So, and it was just small defects too. So it was just completely free. So it's cool. What does your wife stream? In case of cyber attack, break glass and pull cables. That's funny. Oh man, that is cool. I'm jealous. Got the ring light and everything. The ring light monitors. Yeah, I wish I had a room just for streaming. And then I would have a TV mounted on a wall somewhere. Yeah, I got some ideas. I have TV mounted on a wall. Maybe a fake wall somewhere. Breath of the Wild. I was streaming Breath of the Wild for a minute, but then I got, man, it's these open world games. I only play them for so long. I never beat them. Oh, thank you, Streamlabs bot. Thank you. I appreciate it. Streamlabs bot knows that you gotta follow my account. Yeah, open worlds just because with open worlds they're just so like if I'm not if you don't force me into a story mode or like a plot, if you don't force me into a plot, then I'm not gonna play the story. I'm just gonna do stuff and then I'm never gonna beat it. That's just how it goes. I struggled with the last Halo, but I did. But I did it. Yeah. I don't think I ever play story mode on games anymore. Rarely did I do that. I normally just go to the multiplayer. Some games I've never played the story mode for. I think that's the main reason I buy games. Ooh, I do want to buy this game. I do want to buy this game and stream it. It's called what's it called? I want this game so much. This is a game I might play story mode for. It's called Lost in Random. It looks kind of like, it seems to play similar to like Lego, the Lego series. But yeah, I would like to play that. Yeah, buy it and then write it off as a business expense. I've been playing Diablo 3 lately. I like the story of some of the games. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Stories are great. I just don't be playing them too much. Like I like Horizon Zero Dawn, but I never beat the story. Even though the story is great. The story is definitely great. But yeah. Diablo 3. I've heard of Diablo 3. I can't picture it in my mind right now. Let me look it up. Can't picture it in my mind. Oh man, maybe I was thinking of a different game. I really like Mortal Kombat 11. Oh, my brother loves Mortal Kombat. My brother loves Mortal Kombat. He loves like Mortal Kombat. He loves Tekken. He loves that kind of stuff. I am not a fighters person. It's a Blizzard game, yeah. Blizzard. Tekken story is pretty cool. I don't play fighters, but I like to read the lore. Like to read the lore. I guess the genre I play most is like RPG games. I play the occasional shooter. I like some MOBAs. I love MOBAs. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Every now and then I'll play like some adventure or action game. I don't like Grand Theft Auto type games. Because it's like, Grand Theft Auto is like, I guess you would say it's also like open world. I'm not a fighter person either, but the way the game was structured was really fun to play. Play any WoW? I think I did play WoW. Oh, like once. I think I played. I think I played like there was this one MOBA. It was called Paragon, and then when Paragon eventually died because Epic Games canceled it in favor of Fortnite, I started trying to play some other MOBAs, and I think I did play WoW. Lost Ark sounds familiar. That one sounds familiar. I can't picture that one in my mind either. But that one sounds familiar. Yep, games definitely had like some games definitely have like learning curves. It's a newer one to the States. Yeah. When did I hear about it? I can't remember. I don't recall. I'm wondering if I'm gonna buy Breath of the Wild 2. Even though I haven't beat the first one. Maybe. Maybe. I think I'm definitely gonna buy the new Pokemon games too. I think I'm gonna pick probably Scarlet. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a stream. I think I'm gonna call it a stream. I think I need a gap day. So I might not stream Thursday. I think I need a gap. I think I need a gap. Like a lot of games are grindy. A lot of games are grindy for sure. Yep, yep. Definitely need a gap. When I'm gonna stream again? Let me think. Oh man, I want to say maybe not Friday. um, we'll say during the 3-day weekend because there's a 3-day weekend with Memorial Day. It depends if I have an open house. So I'm trying to get an open house. I'm trying to do an open house. So depending on if I do get an open house, I can't do it Saturday because that's likely when the open house is. But probably I'll stream during the 3-day weekend. But yeah, that is it for me. Now I'm ready to go into my outro. But yeah, Knox, you should give me the handle of your wife so I can follow. For sure. But yeah, thank you so much, Knox, Sage of Six Paths. Thank you so much for coming and visiting my stream. I very much appreciate it. You guys are gonna get me on the road to affiliate one day. Affiliate. Oh man, like the mod powers are great. I'm glad you know this because I sure don't know this. I would have been guessing. I don't think it did it. That's funny. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, if it doesn't work, you can always DM. You can always slide in the DMs. Sorry, I didn't want to post it in your stream, just out of courtesy. Yeah, you can DM me. That's fine too. I'm all about supporting. You can post it in the stream. You can DM it. I'm all about supporting. You can post it. Yep. Oh, there it is. I see it.
You found me.
Follow. Awesome. Alrighty. Alrighty. Well, I would like to thank you guys again. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming out and showing up, showing out. And I will try to stream again No promises, no promises. And I will actually post it. I'll post it in the Discord a couple of hours before I actually start streaming. So I need to get better about that. I'm actually, I'm probably gonna, post on my social media more. I need a bot to do it. Actually, I need to program a bot that just does stuff. I could do something. Yeah, I should. Oh crap! That scared the crap out of me. Saving Kelsey, thanks for the follow. Out of nowhere, wow! And I'm just ending the stream too. Thanks. Yes, I love it. Love it. Oh, I see. That's hilarious. Yes, Knots is great. Better call it even and go to bed. Yes, 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 yes. Well, you all have a good night. That's debatable. That's hilarious. That's debatable. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So for real this time. Thanks everyone who showed up. Thanks for the follow. All right, I will see you guys later. Cue outro.